Hello, my name is Simon Adams of Moonstar Board Games. In this series, I like to take a look at games which I either really like or even love and discuss and muse just generally upon why. It's kind of like my video blog of my thoughts. So maybe one day in the future I can go back and remember what it was like to be a young man and see how my opinions have changed. These are not how to play these games. I'll give a rough overview of how to play the game that I'm talking about in any particular video, but if you really want to understand the mechanisms and mechanics of how to play a particular game, I would please encourage you to go to one of the many YouTube channels in which they will give you a thorough introduction and instruction on how to play the game. This week, I'm talking about I'm reminiscing, right? I'm reminiscing on some of the games that kind of brought me into the hobby with Race for the Galaxy, started to entrench me into the hobby with Catan, and then games that kind of, as I was like, wow, this is amazing, and then started to expand out. Starting with like the usual suspects, a lot of games that most people will know, and so that's why I'm not really going to go into too much detail as to why or how to play these games, but I do want to talk about why I really like them. And this is going to be Carcassonne. My Carcassonne is down here, as with all my games. I have Carcassonne has dozens of expansions. Carcassonne. I have, I think, the first because I bought a I bought an insert for the game, and I bought bunch a bunch of the expansions. I have actually I have I have this is my like travel, like if I'm traveling somewhere, I throw this into my suitcase or my backpack or whatever. Doesn't matter where I'm going. I take this, and this has a mini sized game of Carcassonne. Has Carcassonne, actually has a bunch of different games in here. I have Hive in here. I have Carcassonne. I have Anomia, and then I normally put in a bunch of Button Shy's wallet games. So I have a lot. I have a lot of Carcassonne. I have a lot of Carcassonne. I've gifted Carcassonne to a bunch of people too. Carcassonne is a you pull tiles at random, you place tiles down, and you're trying to either build large sections of a city in which you can put one of your meeples in order to gain victory points, or into fields in order to gain victory points, or into roads in order to gain victory points, or a river as well. There's a river mini expansion in the base set. I don't know if it's in every base set, but it was in my base set. But there are also additionally a number of expansions. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11, 12, 13, and then the mini expansions. There are a lot of expansions. A lot of expansions. I think I got the which copy did I get? I think I got, is it Rio Grande? Rio Grande Carcassonne. I'm pretty sure because they had the numbers on each of the boxes, and if I remember rightly, they went up to like 13 at one point. No, it's Z-Man. Okay, no, I have a Rio Grande, and then it was Z-Man that put the numbers on the expansions. Yeah. Yeah. Carcassonne was one of the first games that I bought. I didn't know. I think it was because of a shut up and sit down review. Maybe? No, it wasn't because of shut up and sit down. I don't know. I don't know why I bought Carcassonne, especially given it looks horrible in the box. Like it looks like it's not a pretty game. I don't think anyone would begrudge me for saying that it's not a pretty game. Um, it's a great game. That's why I'm talking about it. That's why I have multiple copies of it. That's why it's in my travel bag and I take it literally everywhere. This copy of Carcassonne has been all over the world, like straight up all over the world, and has been played all over the world. Um, but it is not a pretty game. Uh, but it is an extremely easy to teach, fun to play, casual, nice little experience. And there is interaction with the other players to when you're going to claim sections and areas. It's a great couples game. I've never played it three players. I know that there are competitive Carcassonne players, and that's all two player. They play with fields, I think. Um, but it's a great two-player game. It's a very casual, easy to play, kind of unassuming good time. And I know that doesn't sound like a glowing a glowing review or sentiment of Carcassonne, but if you think about just how chaotic and hectic and wild this world is on a day-to-day, fucking hour-to-hour basis, sometimes sitting down to play a game doesn't have to be an extension of that chaos. Sometimes it can be sitting down and having a whiskey with your partner, or whoever, with your mum, even, your dad or whoever, and just playing a nice little interesting game of Carcassonne. I don't need to speak too long about Carcassonne. I spoke quite a lot about Catan because Catan has a lot going on. Um, I don't think you need the expansions. I don't think you need any expansions. In fact, I have I have a lot of these expansions. I have so the river comes in the base. Um, I have most of these expansions. I have a lot of them. My box is full. I have an insert, and I have a big box. I have a shit ton of Carcassonne. And the truth is that when it comes to actually playing it, I find myself just wanting to play the base game of Carcassonne. Like, yeah, it's that kind of game where you can have all these options that make it more complicated, adds in more rules and different mechanics. But when I play Carcassonne, I just want to switch off and slow down and relax. And yeah, you're thinking for sure, and um, there's definitely a skill to playing Carcassonne. You're pulling the tiles from a bag, and there's a question as to whether or not you pull three and you pick one, or you just pick one and you put that down. That's for you to decide, which how you fall in that particular discussion. Um, but Carcassonne is just legitimately a nice time. It's a nice time. You don't need to think too hard. You can, for sure, like with anything, you can overthink and you can really take it seriously, but it's just it's like hot chocolate. Carcassonne is hot chocolate. It's just comforting and warming and soothing. Yeah, Carcassonne. I love Carcassonne. I really do. Yeah, I really do. I've played that game like all over the world. Like really at this point. Okay, my name is Simon Adams of Moonstar Board Games. I'm so fucking tired.